Hello and welcome. My name is Trismegistus, and today we're going to be playing some SpaceX. But I kind of decided that because the VODs tend to go live on YouTube, is that changing? What's going on there? Why has that? That's very strange. Let's try reloading that page. Oh, there we go. That's working then. That was a very smooth introduction, as per usual, wasn't it? Let's just check the audio's coming through then, I guess. Yeah, there we go. What was I saying? Yes, so basically, I've decided. So the reason we show, we're not showing because I clicked the wrong button. This is really going perfectly well. Right, so press that one. Is that coming through? There we go. So what I decided to do at the very start of every one of my streams is just to put in context which Friday Facts was the one that just came out. So we're not going to go through it or anything. I've obviously done the video. That's all live, etc., etc. It's just to make sure it's clear to anyone watching on catch-up, because the catch-ups can be a month late and more if I've taken holiday. So it's just to make it clear that the 414 Spoils of Agriculture, where they explain about spoilage, is the one that's just most recently gone live on the blog site. So with that done, I might keep it open just in case I want to refer to anything. But there we go. So we will be playing some space exploration today. And I will, I'm sure, be rambling on about the spoilage mechanic as well. Just making sure everything is right. And that, nope, that needs to change. I need to do that one. Cool. This is, I'm just pro streamer stuff here again. Right. Yes. So where are we? I did get a chance to play a bit, and I have warders in, essentially. So we now have a complete walling in of the entire factory, which means we are, quote, safe. Didn't take that long, but, you know, it was a bit of a grind to get rid of the really big nests that were down here. What I've also done is made another couple of tiny little tweaks to the what would you call these? The drop-off points, basically. And I think they're good to go. Because what I kind of need to do is, like, do these properly. Because now that we've got a complete wallification, so now that we have a complete, encirclement of the base, that means we've effectively got a gigantic roundabout all the way around the base with multiple connection points, is always the intention with it. So these turnarounds and all the fiddling about I had to do with that are now pointless. Hello, Baker Magician. No spoilers, if you see what I did there. Indeed, indeed. Hope you're well. Hope you're doing okay. So I need to do a lot of tidying up. I'm not proposing I do that in this stream, and something I need to catch up with. What I am proposing we do is try and get the space stuff, the new planet stuff, back on track. Because, as we've established, what I need to do next is the what's it called? It's not called Vulcanite, is it? Because it's not space age yet. What does he call it? I forgot what it's called. The other science pack. This one with this. So, what the heck is that called? I get so mixed up with this and space age. Is it a Vulcanite? There we go. Yes, so it's Vulcanite, not Vulcanus. So yes, this whole thing I need to do, and we've identified a planet. If I can refresh my memory, got the wrong thing there. Is it Damia? Yeah, Damia is the perfect place to go to get some Vulcanite. It does have very little iron ore. I hadn't spotted that before. But of course it does have the core extracting debris. So what I quite like and there's also Ran, of course. We need to go back to Ran because we are stuck. Because some time ago, a meteorite hit the base here, wiped out a couple of machines, which isn't too bad, but it destroyed some belts, basically. So we are stuck. We are not making cryonite rods, and so this base is stuck. And it doesn't have any repair packs. So what I want to do today, try to do, is like build a little manufactory that I can blueprint and then pop down on any planets that we go to, so that it'll make very, very basic level stuff. So it won't be like green, I said green, blue belts or anything like that. It's going to be yellow belts, maybe fast inserters, but probably maybe just normal inserters. Few intermediates, So as small as I can get it, so that it makes every basic machine, so that I will always have some production of things on each planet. So that's the plan. We're going to build it over here, which does mean ripping these up, but I want to, just as a safety thing. In fact, I've probably not got any machines and stuff, have I? Because I'll need chemical labs and all that, so I need to set that up as well. Just as a safety thing, in case I've been an idiot and not copied the blueprints properly. I'll just quickly grab it. I don't need that. I mean, I also need nuclear stuff, basically. If I just call these like walls or something, and stations, and save that. So it's just a backup, really, in case I've been and done a dumb. Glebo mechanics are interesting indeed. I'm really hoping that science packs don't spoil and just stay at like 1%. It'd be super annoying if each and every lab had an outserter. Unfortunately, I did actually see your comment on the thing. I've not replied to any of the comments. The channel's actually kind of popped off in a miniature way, in that I've had something like 60 new subscribers across the last 2 videos, which has been amazing. But it does seem to me, and also the timing of when I put it live, I think there are more people around, so I've not really responded to the comments. But unfortunately, I think I've got some bad news for you there, because they have confirmed that the science packs do fully spoil even when they're in labs and that sort of thing. So we're going to have a weird situation, because I was thinking about it this morning, like I do, just randomly. And basically, if you imagine this is a lab, I've not actually got lab, but we're now going to have red-green science packs, right? The blue and grey, purple and yellow, white, but also now, say, pink, bright green, and I was trying to go through them, but I can't remember what they are. But basically, we're going to end up with 12 science packs, okay? So if you're trying to belt them in, so what we got? We got, it's orange, isn't it? The vulcanite. So you got white, you got your orange, you got your pink, and you got your green. What's the other one? I've forgotten. So military. Oh, blue. I didn't say blue. So basically, we will have 12 science packs. Okay. Now, let's say if you imagine it's a lab. And obviously we know there's beacon changes coming, so you've got your beacons around. But 12 beacons is going to be really difficult to do, even though, as we know, it's changed anyway. But you've got your 12 beacons around. You're not actually going to have a lot of room for putting them in. Putting stuff in, basically. But now, not only that, we've got to take stuff out. And to say, they have confirmed that they do spoil in labs. Green science packs do go off. So that means, as I say, we've now got a situation where we have to have a total, because it was just about manageable when it was that. And, if you wanted to do sort of 12 beacon, and then say, I know there's the changes, but you now got to take it out as well. Other way around, isn't it? And you've got to get rid of spoilage for green science packs that have gone off in the actual things. What they said is there's now like a repository. So it's like a little thing, extra thing. And this is one of the reasons. I've been sort of thinking through. I don't know that I'll get a chance to do a video on it. There's a lot of stuff I think we've been told as like quality of life improvements that are actually about managing things on Gleba, because I can't see how we're going to get away without using quite complicated... I mean, you can always get away with it, but using quite complicated circuit networks on Gleba, because the things you're going to want to do with timing are like very different to the types of things that you want to do just managing your factory. And my whole thing, and this is my, sort of my fear with it, is that my way of playing the game, essentially, which is all about just brute forcing everything, is kind of not going to work anymore, because something like timing isn't a brute forceable thing, really. So it could be quite tricky. But yes, I'm afraid that's they have confirmed that they do go off in science packs. They go off anywhere, basically. The bit I find bizarre about it, and they did sort of give a bit of a reason, because is the refrigeration thing. I think the most popular mods come launch day are going to be just turning spoilage off, because I don't think a lot of people are going to like it, and it's not optional, unlike quality, where they were like, well, you just don't play with quality then. This isn't optional, so I think a lot of people are just going to turn it off. But also adding some kind of refrigeration, because it's just bizarre, isn't it? That the thing goes into space, which is famously, although actually heat is actually really difficult to get rid of in space, but famously cold, as it were. We've also got an ice planet coming. Now, of course, it might not actually be an ice planet. We've all got the wrong end of the stick, but it's a blooming ice planet. How does the engineer, a bit like in the way the engineer doesn't know how to dig a hole, even though they can build, they know how to design a nuclear reactor. They can't dig a hole. And it's the same sort of thing of like, well, there's an ice planet, just ship ice to, or, create some sort of refrigeration unit to extend the lifetime. I do get why that I do get why they would not make it so that it's not not just a perfect refrigeration, because they want to. The trouble with having a mechanic that counteracts another mechanic is that, a bit like productivity research, just gets to a point where all patches are effectively infinite, and it just removes patch building and that sort of thing as any kind of challenge in the game. And that would be the point. If you introduce something that's meant to be a challenge, and then you put a mechanism in that counteracts that, people would just use that to turn it off, and it just doesn't achieve what they're trying to achieve. So I get why you would make it so it's not infinite, but not having it at all, because it could be like Breaking Force, where you can only do, say, 6 levels of refrigeration technology, and each one you're required to build like refrigerators, and that's really hard. That's the challenge there, but it never makes it infinitely storable. It always declines. But I say, this feels like prime modding territory, to be honest. Good God, the crane, agricultural tower, looks incredible. My friend and I were just ogling it for like 10 minutes. Yeah, I think it looks amazing. I'm not a massive fan of the animation it does with the arm, because it twists, it like, when it's moving up and down, there's nothing actually articulating. You know how the game is really good about, I can't really show it, because Spidertron's the best example, but when things have like pistons and things like that, that they do kind of make sense, when an arm is moving, or something is moving back and forth, it sort of fits into the space that it's moving in and out of. But the arm just sort of weirdly elongates and shrinks without any kind of, it doesn't have any linkages in it like it would move around, and it also just sort of twists and bends without any kind of, there's nothing at the top to kind of manipulate it around, so it just sort of flies around. But the actual design of it is amazing. I really like it. There's also, this is one of the many things I didn't say on the video, but in fact I can show it because that's why I kept it open. So if we go, it has a connector on it for fluids. So I'm wondering if there's some kind of mechanic for, well, obviously the other tree might require a fluid. That might be a thing, but I'm wondering if eventually we get like nutrient, effectively fertilizer, basically, and you can put fertilizer in, and that's the only way of speeding these up, because I can't see any. I can't see them putting speed modules into this and it magically making the trees go faster, but putting fertilizer in, and that would give another use for spoilage, you see, because you could say, It could be the nutrients, but it could also be that you can turn spoilage into, because the way they phrase this as well, when it's talking about getting rid of them, multiple methods to get rid of it. You can burn it, waste it, or create nutrients that are already half spoiled. So, that's sort of the way that's phrased. It could be that you could turn it into a liquid fertilizer as well. Equally, you could use this to turn that into, because liquids, I think they have said it, but they won't have spoilage. So you could turn all of this into liquid fertilizer, and then it's just permanently there and available. And fertilizer would be how you would kind of speed out the plantations, because at the moment you're going to be very fixed with the amount that you can get out and the speed that you can get them out, which isn't very Factorio. But I love the design of it. Yeah, the actual. I was doing that then, and I'm not on screen capture, so I'm gonna have to be very careful with that, aren't I? So basically what I was saying is that this has a pipe connection. So the arm thing has a pipe connection. Can I show it doing? Is it going to do the animation? You see the way it sort of extends and shrinks? It sort of does have, looking at it now, it does have like holes for it to go into, but they're not very well defined, are they? So I suppose it does have them. They look more like shadows. And there you go, it's stretching. It's not actually moving in and out of like a cylinder moving in a cylinder. But the rest of the design is amazing. But yeah, so it's got a pipe connection on it. And I was thinking that another recipe when they're talking about the spoilage is that you could turn it into, the nutrients and then turn it into liquid fertilizer, and liquids don't go off apparently. But yeah, so I'm going to be careful with that. You see, I shouldn't experiment with things. This is a problem. When I experiment with things, I make a mess of stuff. The actual grab arm animation looked bad. They just stretched the model. Did not look convincing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure the biodome, as its base, it's a mix of germination and a fruit sorting. My initial thought was if you were super careful, you would never have spoilage, but that's just unrealistic. Yeah, I think you're always going to have spoilage. Oops, sorry, I'm losing track of chat then. Yeah, I think there will always be some things that are spoilage. The question for me, as I say, is to what extent do we need to make it? Is it going to, become reliant on circuit networks? Because if you're thinking about it from a just-in-time logistics point of view, then obviously, there's going to be a tech tree. I'm sure like this, they haven't really said it, but I'm sure like this and the base game anyway, sciences are going to require different things. So if you're like, right, I want to do some green science, some agricultural science stuff, so I'm going to need some agricultural science packs, and that you basically plan your factory, you send it a signal maybe, or flick a switch that says, build me 500 green science packs. It does that as quick as it can from the way you've designed it, sticks them all in 5 rockets which are ready to go, sends them up to the platform. The platform's a super fast one, blasts over to Nalvis, drops off the stuff, and off you go. I think a lot of people are thinking that they'll move their science facility to Gleba, and I'm sure that's a possibility. I'm sure you can do science on any of the planets, but I keep coming back to the big stompy boy, because we know, or we suspect, that there's a gigantic enemy, that's going to wander around completely trashing all your stuff. So if you've got all of your major infrastructure on Gleba, and he turns up, or they turn up, and completely flatten your entire factory, that's probably more expensive. Because I think one of the things people are forgetting, I've seen a lot of people are unhappy, and I'm not necessarily fully happy with it on this occasion, but I think people are forgetting that this is a infinite resource. This isn't like an iron patch or steel or something like that. Yes, you've got the energy to do the stuff, and you've got the time and the effort, and you know, the designing and all that sort of stuff. But that's the fun stuff. But this is a infinitely renewable resource, apart from if Big Stumpy Boy comes and flattens your all of your you know, your plantations. But even then, you're probably going to have seeds, so you can go and get some more, or go and plant some more. So yeah, so I think that might be the threat. The other one is the land issue. So to what extent can we actually build on Gleba? You know, is it a good place to build? How frequent are these ponds, you know, that we're building the soil in? Because if you've got to build your entire factory somewhere and you use up all of the best ponds, then that's not going to be ideal, is it? So, so I think there's going to be some counteracting points to that, just like on every other planet. You know, Falgora's got the oil sand that, you know, actually eats your buildings. You've got horrible conditions for building on Volcanus with all the rocks, and I'm suspecting there'll be it feels like that on every planet there is these intermediate planets. There's going to be something that will damage your buildings. We've not really had confirmation on Volcanus, but I'm wondering if it is you know, you've got to have the lava. Maybe there's something that lives in the lava, pops out and trashes half your buildings. And it feels like each of the intermediate planets has got this. Well, if I build if I switch all of my factory to this planet, then that's going to be great because that will save me a lot of problems with logistics. But then the enemies, or you know, the terrain or what have you, makes that difficult, basically. So you can do it, but building on Nalvis and bringing everything to Nalvis, or maybe Aquilo, is actually still an optimal solution. You know, you're not forced to move to Gleba, but it is an option for you to do that. You will have... Oops. You will have imperfect ratios. You will have deadlocks. You will need to deal with spoilage. Yeah, that's going to be the biggest pain with it. My friend had the same initial thought you did, that the stinging frond tree was the other fruit plant. But I disagree. It would have visible fruit on it. I think it was just adjacent by coincidence. Yeah, I don't know if you saw the part of the video. Basically, if I switch the screen again... Oh, actually... What was I showing then? That was odd. Yes, so... I'm really going to have to get used to this, doing it this way. So, what was I going to say? And that was that point. Steve, yes, so... Oh, it was actually the previous Friday Facts. If you go back and read the previous one, 413... If you watch this video, at no point... I'm not going to skim through it, because it's actually a huge video. But if you go through this video... the pink fruited, or the orange fruited, it's pink, is it? I guess red, plant is nowhere in this video, okay? Whereas everything else that's there kind of is. But we do obviously have the... People are saying that this is meant to be the red area, when it was saying we won't talk about the red area. It's this stuff. To me, that's pink, but... You know, I guess that apparently is the red stuff. But, yeah, so it could be that it lives in this area. You know, it could be that the fruiting plant lives in that stuff, maybe. And, I don't know, a different one, a different coloured one is where the other plant lives. But, yeah, so the pink fruit, you know, these are shown as, you know, and that we saw them again in this most recent one. All of these here, but the pink fruited one isn't on there. You know, not even in sort of adolescent form, as it were, I could tell. So I think you're right. I don't think this frondly one is the, you know, is the other tree. I do reckon it's still an environmental hazard, though, that if you go near this, or in fact any of them, they could cause you damage. Why does that not show up properly? That's very weird. They have a pinkish biome. Oops. That they very intentionally didn't show. It's also on the planet graphic. It's likely that area is more dangerous, but also has the second fruit plant. Yeah, so I say that's what I think. I think maybe both of them live there, and that you have to go there and get it. And maybe it's just really hazardous. That's where all the Vitas live, that sort of thing. Last thought for the moment. Aquilo isn't the god of ice of winter per se. It's one of the four gods of the winds and associated with winter. So Aquilo might be more of a windy, stormy planet than an ice ball. The planet placeholder graphic they used looks extremely icy, but I think that was just weather clouds. Yeah, it could well be. Obviously don't know. It is the god of the north wind, though, and the north wind is obviously the winter wind. So that's why I think it's an ice planet. Also, I mean, you never know what they could do. We're doing well here. Half an hour in and I've not done a single thing. But it's... what was I going to say? Yeah, I mean, what have they got left? So they got, a fire, like a rocky planet, volcanic planet, rocky planet. We've now got a biological planet. We've got a desert planet. We've already got a green and pleasant planet, as it were, now this. So what else is there that it could be? It could be entirely water, for example. That could be a thing. It could be tundra rather than ice. It could be that style of thing. But there aren't too many kind of types of biome that you can kind of imagine it being. Right, so we need to order up the machines. I say we're doing really well here. I've done nothing. Oh, I guess one of the things I also did, because we were messing about with this last time, is just to show you that I did finish it up. This is the industrial furnaces producing steel. As you can see, it's super backed up now, because I was a bit aware that the pyroflux could easily run out, although it looks like we've got loads of it. This process, the core mining, produces absolutely loads of pyroflux for what it's doing. I think these tanks are almost full here. Oh no, they were. I guess the train's been gone. But yeah, it produces loads of pyroflux, so it might not be as much of a problem as I thought it was going to be. But I did put in a industrial furnace-based build. Now, one of the things that was staggering about that, and why I don't think I'll use it for these other builds or particularly replace them, is that if we look at the power... Now, can I show it? It's probably a while ago. Here we go. So, the industrial furnaces... I mean, I've got millions of laser turrets now. Literally millions. 11,000 laser turrets. So that's why they're bobbling along at that line. And obviously I've got loads of roboports charging things. And the industrial furnaces, when they kick in, and it's doing a new train load, are up here. They're in that small build is using nearly 500 megawatts of power. Now they obviously have modules in them and that sort of thing. So and they take quite a lot of modules to work. But that's a huge power drain, really. And as such, I did start expanding. In fact, we could keep going a little bit on this. Did start expanding the solar. Just sort of filling in some of the gaps, because I've been in when it was when we got walled in. I've cleared out all of this, so we can use this nice area here for more solar panels, because it has nothing in it basically. Right, so we want to add on even more landfill. And where's the... We're doing up to there. Cool. Fill that bit in. And that. Get them busy on that. I guess I keep doing that. Put that on there. But yeah, I did notice... I mean, I'm assuming this was Cova X's. There's one more mechanic that's going to be even more controversial. I haven't seen him confirm that, but the reaction was not positive as an overall thing. I mean, there were lots of people who liked it, but there were a lot of people not keen, which I kind of... On this one, I kind of understand. A bit sort of quality sounds fine to me. Still, I still don't have any problems with that at all. But this one, I don't know. I can see myself playing quite often with, a refrigeration mod, a realistic or sensible one that doesn't turn it off completely. But yeah, I wasn't. I don't know. It sounds like it's going to be quite annoying. Is the problem? I think one of the things I would say, my overall sort of the reason for that is because I don't know what it's giving us. What is this giving us? This quality mechanic, this spoilage mechanic. That because the thing about quality, yeah, okay, you're wasting a lot of items. Yeah, you're having to set up these weird factories that loop things round, and it's a percentage chance, so you're going to have to wait ages. And I get all of that, but what it gives you is some super awesome buildings that can do super awesome things. So, great. It's something you can play with if you want to, and it gives you a really nice bonus. Spoilage, what does spoilage give us that is a worthwhile thing to have in and of itself? Obviously, it's making things that, are going to be useful, are going to have point to them, etc., etc. But inherently, even in and of itself, the mechanic doesn't appear to give us anything. There is nothing that benefits from spoilage. It's just an extra difficult mechanic, And unlike something like the oil sands on Folgora, which, eat your buildings, eventually you get a way of getting rid of that by laying foundation on it, concrete on it, what have you. You can't do that, apparently, with spoilage. It's always there. So that, unless there is some research that makes it, extends it or what have you, not having a refrigeration mechanic to me, without understanding, say, what benefits spoilage in and of itself gives you, is a mistake. Because if you're going to introduce a pain point, then you need to give people tools to work around that pain point, in my opinion. To modern US English, aqua is reminiscent of aquatic, which is more about fluid water than solid water. Okay. Anyway, I'm too excited to play my new copy of The 1,000-Year Door. Okay. I might get hankering to talk through it at some point. No worries. Sorry. Spoilage is a drawback mechanic. Those are always hard to sell to players. There's possibly for a science pack at least that 100% spoilage is not equal to 100% science power. Perhaps 50% spoilage equals 100% science power. 100% spoilage equals 200% science power. Yeah, so yeah, it could be that they are more effective science packs. It could also be that any recipe, they balanced it so that any recipe that uses them doesn't use as many. So, if you've got a recipe that, most of them are in equal number, it could be that any one that has an agricultural science pack only has, half as many or something like that. And as you say, if it's above 50%, then it counts as a full science pack. More than that, you're effectively getting a bonus. That would be quite useful. Because Cloverx also did say that there's effectively no point doing any quality stuff with any of the spoilage, because a couple of hours and even a couple of minutes is ridiculous. You couldn't even, I don't think, make a legendary item just because of how many cycles you need to go through. So they're almost counteracting one of their own mechanics, But, you couldn't, I don't think, make legendary agricultural science packs. So if that's like a benefit for going to the effort of making quality science packs for every other science pack, you just literally counteracting that, why would you play with quality feature? So yeah, it needs a lot more of a reason of why it's a good thing in the game, in my opinion. And I say, that was always I understood why quality was there and what it was giving you, and the fact you could not play with it. This is not like that, and I'm not sure that that's a good idea. Anyway, should we actually play the game? Right, so let's see if I can order up. So if I say, well, let's just order in, I guess, all of these, because I'm thinking that they probably need to end up with some kind of core mining mechanic, maybe. So chemical plants, oil refineries. Would I do something with fuel? I guess, because I need to do rocket stuff. Casting machines and that I'm going to leave, as I say. Would centrifuges need to be there? Probably not. So we've got assembly machines, but the question is whether... What is the recipe on a green one? It's only small electric motors and that. Because I'll obviously take some with me and build it from there. Yeah, not in the logistics area. Bring me stuff, bots. Okay. I guess we should have old pipes and stuff as well. This is all cleared out from when I was messing about with all the military stuff, so need to order basically everything in. Well, there you go. There you go again. I mean, am I going to make it with blue belts? Maybe I should get some of everything in. We do 400 maybe of everything. Maybe. So let's just have some, so I can think about it more than anything else. Modules. Maybe we probably need more inserters just so that we can mess about with stuff. I've got power poles, I guess chests. I'm thinking of it being belt based because I don't want to like kill too many bots. You know, with making it all logistics, but we will include that if we need to. Yes, we do need things like recycling and pulverizers. I guess I'll need life support so that I can live there as needed. Do I want to integrate defences into it? I guess I probably do. And then what else are we looking at? We got them, got radar. So we'll leave centrifuges. Now, I guess if we have a few delivery cannons, and maybe like silos and stuff. I obviously don't need stacks of these, it's just so that I can order them in. Now, is it also going to have... Because they're quite tricky to make, aren't they? What are in here? Batteries, steel... That's not too bad. Okay. Oh, I think they're doing that. Maybe it ends up with a couple of them. I'm overstuffing my inventory, aren't I? But I don't really need the ammo, do I? Why am I opening that? And I could... How many robots is it going to have? It's not that many, is it? Where are we looking? Robotic ports, robotic ports. I think I could probably take rail down, because if I include that, that's... Oh, why have I done 200? That's dumb. Warehouses and all that sort of malarkey. I guess probably need to have access to them. I was looking at... Oh, let's just leave the robots. Okay. They stopped going mad, so I think they've brought me everything that they can. Okay, so I guess the first question... Where did the... Oh, is what exactly am I going to build in this? So... Oops. So I guess actually we need to think about. So we need to be doing, iron, copper. I wonder if I've got them knocking about in the system. I didn't. What else? I guess we would then need like steel and stuff. Then what intermediates am I? Oh, and then. Oh. Right. Okay. Circuits. Crikey. Because that's stone tablet, isn't it? So if we do have them being made, because I'm thinking about it in terms of just like a MIDI bus thing, basically. So would I put gear wheels on it? Maybe. Put a pipe on it? Possibly. But these require like cables. In fact, let's queue it up like that. So, where are stone tablets? There. And then you need cables, and also need then plastic. And that then requires some sort of ore refining. And then you need red and greens, that's fine. Oh, well, you need acid. I'm wondering what I can shoot from here, basically, as well. Rather than necessarily make locally, but we shall see. So if that's there, then that also needs sulfur. Lost them again, there they are. So I just put sulfur there. That needed stone brick. I didn't put stone brick on. Okay. Copper cable. Stone brick. Plastic. Green circuits. Okay. Pipes. Now, there are all these engine things. But it's only when you get to big electrics that it's like more complicated. So I guess we do have potentially a need for lubricant and batteries. But then got all of this madness. Does anything there require a new... It says low density structures. What do they do with this? Doesn't that? Yeah, that requires glass. Okay. I thought so. In which case we need a pulverizer. Although can't I make sand in? I can. Okay. So maybe we don't do it that way. What about if I put? Oops. That there. And then I can make glass in that, can't I? Okay, mad. It's not in intermediates, is it? I can't remember where it lives. Yeah. Yeah, so it is made in a furnace. Okay, so if I order up... Well, I've got that, so why don't I just crush a bit of sand myself. Don't put it in there. No, don't get rid of it. Making a mess. Making a mess, as per. Okay, so that is an intermediate we would need. Because RCUs use them as well. Low density structures. Heat shielding. Okay. So, we need to be able to make them. But also heat shields. Now, don't they use sulfur? Yeah, stone plated steel, so that's okay. Right. Rocket fuel side of things. Because doesn't that use a fuel refinery? It requires a fuel refinery somehow? Yeah. So, because we need both liquid to actually put it in the thing. Solid fuel. Which means that recipe needs to be that one, probably. Which means we then also need some... This mini build area is not going to be very mini, is it? We're going to need to process that down into that. We're going to need to process that down into that. We're going to need some solid fuel production. Oh, which doesn't live in that anymore in this, does it? Lives in... Well, I don't know which one it'd be, but it'd probably be... that one maybe or something, I don't know. Doesn't really matter which one. But if we're making rockets, then the cargo sections require RCUs, which we know we've got. I guess I should put them on here as well. I've got the low density structures, but we've got red. I've listed all of them out. That requires iron chests and inserters. Iron chests are an odd thing to be making, so I should note them. We're going to bother. I might put the inserters on because we need them anyway. Okay. Inserter steel, we got advanced circuits, pipes. I guess I should put storage tanks and pumps on here. Just because they're a bit weird. So you need all of those. You got them, you got them. Now, the actual... Excuse me, what's it called? Capsule thing. You need a capsule for each one, don't you? No. Solar panels and accumulators. Marvellous, okay. I mean, we probably want to make them anyway, but... Solar panels, accumulators, they're just glass and... Yeah, okay. Crikey. This mini build area is not very mini at all, is it? Okay. Right, so, what actual things... Oops, that's not what I want. What actual things we actually want to actually make? Oops. So, oops. Let's start with the basics. Now, what do we want now? I think anything we do is going to be yellow transport belt based. Okay. So that would then need, of the not already listed stuff, in fact, yeah, we would need engines to make undergrounds. It's just them. That's more engines. Okay. So we just pop that there. So we're not going to do red belt. We will do inserters. Now they suddenly require sticks. Pick up sticks. They're now our first use of blue motors that we've seen anyway. Are we doing fast? And long? I guess we've got to, haven't we? So fast. Long. We're going to need possibly all of the chests. I think if we just go with that, I think I should have warehouses. Oh, that's concrete then as well. Oops. Where was concrete living in this? There. Sand, water, sticks. That might be tricky. Might not be able to do then. Equesters. Storage. What else? The power poles? Which is annoying because that requires small ones. Okay, so them, which means them, and them. We won't do thingies, substations. What about rail and stuff, crikey? I guess we would then need underground, pipe, pipe to ground somewhere. What about rail? Oh. Looks like they're having fun. So that's because, I mean, it was literally not very long ago that I put a lot of these in, so they're only just like filling up with, artillery shells basically. So we'll get, I mean, it won't be as bad, but that's because this train has gone here for the first time, fired off a load of shells at the edge of this nest, and in come the response attacks basically. But as you see, it does last. It can withstand it. It's just it tends to take, because we've not got enough damage bonus basically. Which was a thing I was trying to do. I didn't realise these were blue science for the first, or the turquoise one. But say we've kind of run out of cryonite rods, so we can't do any research there. Yeah, no. Where did we get to? So we have pipes, we have doobry-doobries. What about logic stuff? I think we just sort of leave that type of thing. I'm kind of anticipating I'll turn up and I'll have a signal transmitter and a signal receiver, and they'll be in my rocket that I turn up with, cargo rocket. So some of this stuff we don't need. It's whether it's going to need to be, well, I say don't need. My error on rend has kind of proven that we possibly do, but what we can do, I don't know why I put it down there, I don't know why I deleted that. We could think about, we need repair packs basically, we need some form of ammo, because not all of these planets are small basically, so we need gun turrets. I mean, that's really ineffective ammo, isn't it? So we're talking piercing ammo, really, I think, as a minimum. But then we need laser turrets. Anything there we're not already making? No. Or have we flagged for making? That's fine. But then we do need, I think... But do we go with just concrete walls? I think we do. Radars we should do, I guess. Anything else? Military? So there's the shells themselves, but that's another one I'll turn up with the actual things. And like that, I can't see how I would power an umbrella on a lot of these places. So we need them. It's then whether I make, artillery. I bring artillery with me, because they're not that expensive. A few shells. But is it more trouble than it's worth, basically, is the question. I think we'll say no on that one. Okay, what else? There's obviously the actual things that we want to make, but I'm thinking of those as independent builds, basically. Modules? Oh, I can do speed 3 modules. I hadn't realised. Huh, so have I been making any of those? No, I'm only on 2. Okay. I didn't know I'd done that research. Anyway, got distracted. Sorry. The next thing would be the actual buildings. Let's start a new sort of row. This is getting a little big. This mini build area. We would then need, because the other option, I say, is I like fill up enough cargo rockets here to just cope with any problems. I guess we're gonna need would we need burner turbine generators as like a backup thing? No, I think we'll be alright. So if we do and we need there, them to make those, and then that, just the mini engines again. But we need electric mine. Don't those use? Yeah, they do. I guess we'll need them. Anything they use? No. Pump jacks. Core mining. Will I arrive with enough core mining? I think I will. We'll take enough core miners just to work with what we've got. But then we've got the whole electric furnace chain. Which, well, that's already got the stone furnaces. But then got assembler chain, which has to go all the way back to burner assemblers in this, doesn't it? Yeah. How very, very annoying. Okay. Oh, hello, Night Raven. I can never get too far into SpaceX. I find it too complicated. I'm not very far into it, to be fair. How are you doing? Are you doing okay? I'm not very far into it at all. It's I've kind of been, I wouldn't describe it as procrastinating, but I've not really been pushing on in the way that I should have done, really. I've been sort of almost falling into the trap of trying to make this base perfect. It's not quite that, but you know, it's sort of, I got doing some big, you know, big missions, as it were, to kind of build out the walls and all that sort of stuff, and it took a lot of time, so I've not really made a lot of progress, really. So anything? Well, I flagged concrete already, didn't I? Yeah. Am I making things like lights and stuff like that? I should really, I guess, because I build everything with lights. And they're useful as indicators if I have to set anything like that up. So, I say all of this stuff, I would assume that I kind of brought enough with me, basically. And would leave, you know, a stack there, sort of thing. And with the remote thing, I can probably, so long as I have some setup things and construction bots, I can actually edit recipes and stuff. Just so long as they've got access stuff, which is why I'm going to need a lot of storage chests rather than steel chests. Did I put those down? I did, didn't I? Yeah. Okay. I think that's everything. Well, it isn't, is it? What about trains? Well, actually, let's keep going with the manufacturing. So, do I want to build like oil refineries and chemical plants and... I think I'm going to have to with some of them. Yeah, okay, let's make a few. So, do these need any weird extra things? I don't think they do. No. So, coal miners. Did I put pump? I put punchers already. Recycling facility. It's whether I want to build any of them remotely, and as I say, it's probably better to just have a stack. Of like assemblers that I can change with requester chests that I can switch out, basically. But these we probably want it to make, you know, a spare stack so that there's stuff available to replace things. And if I need to build a new smelting array, I can do all that remotely. So, this is all the things I want to build, is it? Seems excessive. And what about... I think modules I won't do, basically. So anything we're building... You know, with modules, I'll have modules only if I've built it in the start. So we can put them in, you know, for these builds, but we won't use them for the rest of it, basically. Yeah, okay. Cool. So what does this thing look like then? That's the big question, isn't it? So I guess let's start with the military things. And that can maybe be like a module or something that I can... Because we're going to need these no matter what. Protect the planet. Well, these are quite dependent on if there's biters there and if it's too big for me to clear, etc, etc. Yeah, okay. So, how do we build them then? We're saying that's iron plate. And then that's steel and copper as well. Okay. What have we got by commonality? So iron. Okay, so they're both using iron. Iron plate. And then if you have gear wheels in, swap that round, I think. So it also needs engines, which is going to be an interesting thing. Quite a lot of stuff needs engines. And engines don't need steel, I don't think. No, they're just iron gear wheels again. So, if you're also using because that doesn't need steel, copper or anything. So it's just engines, iron plate, and gear wheels. Iron plate. So they're just pure iron in various forms, essentially. So if that was actually about, here, for example, do you use iron? Yeah. And a power pile here. Let's sort everybody. So this was just iron plate coming up. Being an idiot, aren't they? Find iron plate. And then what else? You need steel and copper. Okay. And maybe that side. Oops. So what I could do actually is put it say there. But you also need steel and copper. I wonder if I can make that a little simpler. That. Okay. So I'm thinking about making these like super compact things. I'll just sort of stamp it down in a nice tiny little space. If that was to move... No, I couldn't move that one down. I could move it one... No, I couldn't. Couldn't move it one up either. Okay. Okay. It's connected to some power as well. Okay. What am I looking for? I'm looking for them. And this would be them. And this would be them. And then we limit that to say that. So you're getting iron off of there, making bullets, you're making... You get steel and copper, there. Engines, iron plate, gears. Probably need another feeding for iron gear wheels, don't I? I'm not going to use stack inserters. But also, these need to be blue machines, don't they? If they're going to be replaceable. So actually... need to be building with blue machines, really. There's something else I forgot to say on the spoilage thing. What was that? Oh yeah, I said in the video, I didn't really like the biochamber reactor thing. It just seems really, like, simple. I don't know. I don't get why it's so simple in a sense. If I plop the screen on, because this is the biochamber reactor, and it's like it's got like 3 moving bits on it. You know, it's got the I suppose there's the fluid moving there, so 4 technically. But you've got the fan on the actual thing there. You got this mixing tank thing out the back. So that sort of gloopy pipe and the chamber here. And I'm assuming this is when it said about what's his name? Jersey, was it? Jersey Fieldo geometry node simulation, which I assume is this, like the fluid moving around in it, but it's so subtle. It's just it's just a very really kind of dull building. I just don't. I don't know. Of all the things we've seen, it's just like it's so simple. Monkey on strike. Oh, I've been trying to avoid spoilers for. Oh, I am sorry. I didn't realise there was anyone who popped into these who hadn't seen it. But I guess you're not getting spoilers in the sense that you don't really know what it's for. But sorry about that. Maybe I should give a warning on the stream generally that I do tend to talk about the Friday facts on these. Okay, so we've got that one and that one. That's okay. What else do we want to do in this little area? So we would, I guess, maybe make the walls. If this has got steel on it, do we want to tweak the arrangement of that? I think we probably... Oh no, I could... Well, I didn't put an inserter on it though, did I? Right, does this laser turret... So it uses all sorts of weird stuff that we're not making elsewhere here, are we? They're really quite complicated to manufacture in this. What about that? Steel and coal. A lot of very random ingredients in this mod pack. So, I guess another one, I say we need to make these two. So we can put them in machines. The only common thing they've got is steel. Which is coming up there. So maybe I'll make it part of this. It's just feels like this would be a module I would plop down. In which case it probably wants laser turrets in it somewhere. Maybe they're lower down? Because what small electric motors are on it? They're not simple, are they? Oh, no worries, I should have expected. Sorry, yeah, sorry about that. I say it tends to be, it tends to be what people mostly sort of ask me about, because I mean, I don't know if you know, it might just be random or what have you, but I have a YouTube channel. I do Friday Facts read-through videos where I also do a lot of speculation, and people tend to come and pontificate with their theories about what's going to be in it and all that sort of stuff. So I tend to assume that's my audience, because I'm not any kind of a big streamer. It's just a bit of fun. But some people tend to drop by who watch those videos. So I mean, making it sound like I'm some big YouTuber. They get 100 views. So it's not surprising, but it's very small scale. But so I tend to assume the audience is the same people, really. So they're copper cables, which is interesting. So if that had copper cables, so that needs iron as well, and copper cables. Maybe, but that's batteries, isn't it? Green circuits. God, it's a very random set of stuff. In order to make batteries, we would need acid, iron and copper. What I'm wondering if that was No, that wouldn't work. That idea is stupid. But I wonder if maybe just like that, or something to that effect. How much space it doesn't, but what I could do is that. Anyway, I mean, welcome. Totally understand how. No worries. But welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing well. According to the indicators, it looks like you might have chatted before. So welcome back. But yes, hope you're having a good day. In fact, I recognise the name actually. You here last week? I get lost. So if that's there, then that doesn't fit. But no, I can then pinch that from there, so that gives me iron plate. Remove that down. And it's got a copper. With some power, obviously. Where's it outputting to, though? Because it needs to put it into the laser turrets. So that would work like that. So that gives it batteries. They need copper. Or on the other side, obviously this doesn't have here, could be there, for example. Do they need steel? They do. Okay, that might work then. It's there as well. This was some kind of underground. And that would give that that. So it's then got batteries. It hasn't got electric circuits and glass, which are completely different ingredients to them, aren't they? That needs gear wheels, though. Can I fit that in? That's too small, isn't it? Because if that was in there, that don't work. It's gonna need. It's too far. Maybe let's rethink this. If it's there. No. There. And that works. Because this doesn't have to be right the way over here. This could be like winding around something like that. And then if we try to aim for, if that's connecting there somewhere, would that work? So I've got to put sulfuric acid is iron plate, isn't it? So it feels like we need this to be the acid, so that it can grab that plate somehow. I can always turn that round like that. I could sort that out later. So you've got copper from there, you've got a plate from there, you've got that from there. So we need to get you sulfur. But you can worry about that later. Now, do we have the opportunity? Because we need to move this over anyway. Or maybe just underground it at some point. Yeah, maybe I could just underground it round. Because if this is the gears of these. Oops. And then this is the copper cable. If this is a bit longer. Then we've got copper cable. I guess we should double up. Why have I put that over there again? It doesn't really need... Oh, it needs to have both machines feeding in, doesn't it? So I guess it does need to be there, if you insist. You could also put the actual... Any value in that? If that's like that. I just wonder if I am going to sort of do an undie on this one. So it's like that. Further down. So it can go grabby grabby, inserty inserty. I mean, that could even do it in there, like that, couldn't it? But let's not go completely mad. What else do you need? You need... oh, it needs iron plate. Okay. So this does need to move over by one anyway. So put that in. You come out of there, go that way. Mostly lurk, but I've been around a while since I chatted. No worries, no worries. I'm more than happy for people to lurk. That's, as I say, usually when people mention that, that tends to be what I do. I don't tend to chat too much. Don't like this poking out at the edge there. We need somewhere to put its stuff, obviously. So, I know I've just put that chest there to do that. But yeah, I guess, and also we do need, you know, circuits and stuff coming in. Anyway. What was this? It's green circuits and glass, I think, for some random reason. I guess because it's a laser, therefore it must have glass on it. So we've got batteries, green circuits. The flashing's driving me nuts now. What this does. So if I was to put that... So I think we need one there. Kind of anyway. So if that then is there, and you're yeah, there. I guess we could maybe put the robot on this side or something. Robotic port. That's what I didn't add on to this list. Robotic ports and bots. That's going to be fun to make. I mean, I'm not, you know, the idea isn't to make millions of them on foreign planets, but if we want to expand, we're going to need bots and etc.s. Bots and etc.s. And they require big motors, which is a lube thing. Oh, I've put lube on the list. Hello, Senna. So how excited are you for Kleber? So unsure if spoilable items are a plus or a minus. I think exactly the same here, to be honest with you. Who was it? It was Baker Magician was on earlier, and I was kind of chatting about it then. But I think my concern with it, and I did sort of do this video. I'm not totally closed-minded to it. I don't, I'm not sort of, this is the most abhorrent thing I've ever seen. I hate it. Please make it go away. It's nothing in any way, shape, or form like that. Well, you need sulfur as well, don't you? How the heck are you getting sulfur then? I'm open to it. It could be interesting. Let's see what it's all about, is my sort of reaction. But The bit I'm not sure I'm getting is... Excuse me. Is the why. So, the thing with quality that I think people... You know, I get why people didn't like it. I'm not saying that they didn't have reasons and perfectly sensible reasons. That what do I want to put? Where am I getting sulfur from? Well, it needs water anyway, doesn't it? But does it sulfonate? Yeah, and petroleum. Okay. And how would I get that in? So if we did some madcap madness. Yeah, so I say I'm not saying I didn't understand why people, kind of weren't happy or what have you with with quality. I did get it, but for me, I don't need that, do I? Because I'm getting confused is what I'm getting. Because we need an inserter to put that in, because it's solid, and that's then not... Can't reach it. Okay, let's do that then. If that was the other way around, would I make my life easier? If it was that way around, would I make my life easier? No. But maybe. Yes, so I was saying, I get it, I got it. Understood the reservations and kind of fears people had. Because I'm not thinking, don't I need explosives for one of these other ones? Or both of them even. So I'm thinking this could be the connector into this. No, I don't need explosives. Huh. Oh. So that's coal. I guess they're grenades then, effectively. Batteries, circuits, and steel. Interesting, because that's batteries there. It's annoying to have this sticking out. It's like the problem I've built for myself there. Yes, I'm getting distracted. Sorry. So, yeah, the bit... So, the thing with quality, though, that, as I say, people didn't really seem to, in a sense, cotton on to, was that you... I'm sorry, I can put it in anyway. I think I'm ending up where I was before with this. Yeah. You get a benefit from quality. So, alright, it's a pain to do the maths, to do a mathsy thing, and you sit there for ages with not getting anything, and, you're having to do RNG rolls, and, all of those sorts of things, which I do fully appreciate the argument that they're not very Factorio. Sure. I get the point. However, what you get out of doing all of that is some quality things which have all these benefits to them. They are better than the basic items, and it's an entirely optional mechanic. Although, as I've said just recently, we've been discussing that I'm not entirely sure it really is optional now. It's sort of yeah. The benefits you get out of it for some things are just off the charts, really. So, does that have power over there? Kind of does. It's a bit hidden. That. Oops. We do that. Is that any better? This wasn't I gonna. Yes. So, I don't see what you're getting from spoilage. You're obviously getting the ability to make the green science pack and the other bits and pieces that will come out of it, fine, but fundamentally spoilage as a mechanic, what is that bringing to the game? Because to me, it doesn't seem to be bringing anything. You know, it's just an obstacle, as Bacon Magician said. It's, you know, a thing you've got to cope with, rather than a, well, if I cope with this, then I will get. And I'm not saying there isn't a thing you will get. You know, I would be fully expecting that there is a thing we will get. I think if you're going to introduce a pain mechanic, a punishment mechanic, you gotta tell people what they're getting out of it. Now, maybe it's so in the weeds and stuff that they don't really want to spoil. You know, they want to keep it secret until we get to launch day. And everyone gets to play it and go, oh, if I do spoilage, then I get this amazing thing. Or it gives me this benefit. At the moment, it's just, here's something you've got to suffer with. Enjoy. Okay. Thanks for that. So I'm wondering if I kind of punt this slightly to the right. So if this was... No, it needs iron. I could move that up. I couldn't because the water's there. Yeah, I think that's as good as I can kind of get that little module. Let's make sure I've set all of the chests again. We have red ammo, we have yellow ammo, we have laser turrets. I need to put a light on that because I moved it. We have batteries. What I could do is have batteries elsewhere as well. Yeah, I think that's how I would do it. Okay. But yeah, a bit surprised by that. I thought we were going to need meteors and... I thought these needed explosives, so I'm wrong with that. Okay. Oh, hello, Mr. Raven. How you doing? I think my perfectionism... Sorry. I think my perfectionism makes it a bit annoying, but I like the idea. The whole, you can never utilise a 100% fresh science pack, unless perhaps with the tiniest setup with direct insertion, and then I'd at least be close. And then I would at least be close, is the downside. I see. Yeah, I mean, Bacon Magician, sorry to keep referring back to that, but they made a great suggestion that perhaps it works like a green science pack is actually like doubly effective. So it has like maybe about below 50% is when it actually starts losing, usefulness in science. So that basically you're sort of saying, because as you're saying at the moment, because they have I think it said they have a 2-hour, life cycle basically. So they do decay at like the slowest rate you can do. But literally, as soon as it's made, what would 1% of 2 hours be? So 120. So it'd be 1.2 minutes. Is that right? Maths. I don't have the calculator anymore, do I? I switched out to the other rate calculator because apparently max rate calculator has some bugs in it or something. So I haven't got. I can't use a calculator. I can't cheat. Let's see if I can get the Microsoft calculator up. There we go. So that would be 120 times 0.01. Yeah, 1.2 minutes basically. So you would have 72 seconds before it ticked down from 100% freshness to 99% freshness. And I'm sure they're not going to do fractions of freshness. But what it could be is it's only when it gets below 50% as a science pack that it starts losing, vitality, utility, usefulness as a science pack, and that then I think actually maybe on the other side here. And so you can basically work with it like that, if you see what I mean. So you can say, right, well, I'm thinking maybe that's the connecting point. Didn't something else need alpha? I think it was So that might be a sort of way around it that, okay. Because, yeah, I really don't like... I mean, one of the things I would say that I think people are maybe not remembering is that these are organic things that you're growing. So you have infinite number of them. Then it's not like, you've spent ages digging it up or making it or what have you. It is literally infinitely makeable stuff, but it rankles a bit to spend all that time and effort doing a build, sending rockets, sending space platforms, and when you get to use it, it counts as only a fifth of a normal science pack. It's just like, that feels like an annoyance rather than anything that's bringing any value. And I don't know if I actually made this point or not, but my point was, I did, didn't I? But my point was, quality gives you something. Quality gives you a better building. Spoilage is just something you've got to overcome, and that's just annoying. And why add something that's annoying? It's just pointless in a sense. I agree that it would be nice to also know the reward for using it. I like the constraint because it get me to try to optimize for latency instead of throughput as a primary thing, and it just seems quite interesting what it will bring to the table. Yeah, sure. I say I'm not against the challenge of it. I think my biggest thing with it, as I said in the video, is, it's like, it's going to give you green science pack that you've got to have in order to finish the game, to go to Aquila, to do whatever infinite science, blah, 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 blah. So I'm sure there will also be things, as we've been saying, maybe it is the military planet, maybe there's some stuff for personal equipment, maybe that's how we get artillery. So there are going to be things that I want there. It's just, if I'm looking at that planet and going, right, well, I've got a planet that gives me a foundry, which has 50% prod bonus and it's just awesome. Another planet that gives me an EMP, which has 50% prod bonus and is awesome. Or a whole load of pain for spoilage. Why would I go there first? That's the, oh, I guess I got to do this, planet. Do you know what I mean? That's my problem with it. We need to know what it is we're getting out of it to know why the heck we would even want to go there in the first place. And we know why. It's just we don't know why it's an amazing place to go that gives us something super duper awesome. At the moment, it's just pain for pain's sake. Assuming that you will have to bring all the packs to the same planet, then you can bring all the packs to whatever it's called, Gleba. It's called. At that point, it's not that big of a problem to get high productivity from the plant packs. Yes, I was saying this before. You have to build these what do you call them? Plantations in that specific biome. So you're only going to have a certain amount of them sort of per map area. And the one they showed us in the sort of preview was actually super dense. So one of the issues is going to be, if you're trying to build a gigantic factory, you're going to have to build it, to build or do all your science or process all your science or what have you. Then you have to build it around the lakes where you're going to want to be doing your agriculture. And sure, you could just bring in the science packs, I guess. But you're going to have the labs and all of that stuff there. But the other thing I would point out is we know from the introduction, there's a big stompy biter. So if you set up all of your science on that planet and big stompy biter shows up, and if I'm correct that he's so big and he's so powerful and he's so invulnerable that if you shoot him, all he'll do is just eat more of your factory. You won't go away. You can't kill him because he's so tough. So what happens then? You've got something that walks through your entire factory. Because what it could be, if you think about it, we are harvesting a fruit. And in fact, we're harvesting 2 fruits. So perhaps Mr. Stompy Biter likes to eat those fruits. So he's going to turn up and just hang around in your, plantation, eating all your fruit, basically. And if you're trying to minimize your travel distances, because you want the freshest of freshest science packs, that means all your science is close to your agriculture. So he's going to walk through it. So that, I think, is possibly the discouragement for moving your science there. And as I was saying earlier, I think that might be the general mechanic that they've got, basically. So you can move science to any planet, you know. I don't think there's going to be any restriction on that. And you can import the other science packs to there. It's just that each planet has some restriction on building. So Volcanus, you've got all of the... I think there's going to be some kind of fire damage thing, but you've got all of the cliffs and the lava and all of this stuff in the way, so you've not got very much building space that's nice to work with. Volgora, you've only got those plateaus, which we suspect have automated towers on them, which I'm sure will be tough to to beat. But either way, you can't build on the oil sand until you've got that late game land, so you can't really build big factories there either. And then at Gleba, you've got the, as I say, all the hazards I think that there are going to be on the planet, and the fact that you need to use most of the space for agriculture. So I think you can do that. I'm not saying you can't. It's just that I think they've sort of designed it to make it tricky, basically. So it's a difficult thing to do. I say not in any way, shape, or form impossible, just a bit tricky. If you're there instead, then you don't get coverage. Okay, that's fine. Duly noted. Infinitely makeable. I mean, iron plate is infinitely makeable. Since all you need is iron ore, and most of all the time you can tap new deposit without too much problem. The thing is, you have to build infrastructure to process the items. That's the challenge, in my opinion. Yeah, I perhaps phrased that badly, but you have to build. Yeah, it is in a sense, but you know, they only really become infinite patches like quite late game with lots of infinite technology. Early, mid, or even late game, they do run out. They're patches that get exhausted, and so you have that pain of grabbing more patches and what have you. Whereas with the agriculture, it's fixed. That is there, and that's going to be useful right throughout it. And I was just saying earlier, if you look at the arm thing, it's got a pipe on it, and I think that might be a way of getting I think we're going to have to do fertilizer in order to speed it up or increase its productivity, that sort of thing. So that then is a fixed installation where you feed it, a feed stuff, as it were, and it increases the productivity or speed of that patch, but that patch stays. It's just fixed there. So that's kind of what I meant, really. Yeah, since it has been told that each planet is approached from an angle, let's make it so you could start from that planet and get to all other planets. I find that very weird mechanic with this big stompy biter. I don't think they have said that. I think they've said it. I think they've said that you can relocate, basically. So each of them has the things you need to make rockets to get off that planet. I don't think they're designing them so that you can actually start there. I mean, they may have done. They may have said that, but I don't think there isn't going to be an option, in the menu saying start on Gleba. You will always start on Nalvis, I think, and you always need to get to the point where you've got space platforms before you can exploit any of the other planets. But I say, I may be wrong on that. They may have said that, but say that's my sort of understanding of how it works. Basically, is that they're not designed for you to be able to start on that other planet as such. I'm just trying to... I think I could move this one sideways. Go down. Let me get it there. Oops. Just imagine getting to almost being able to go to space and buy to go stomp stomp, and here you can't start over again. Well, not that you'd be able to, just that you, in theory, would be able to. So I'm not entirely sure they are building it like that. So I think it is very much, you have to have done a lot of stuff. You've done a lot of technologies to get there. You couldn't start from that planet, you know, and necessarily actually. So it's a bootstrapping basically, isn't it? That you can. Where the heck are the bots? What are you messing about at? Oh, they're coming down from here. So yeah, so it's not so much that you won't. The basic idea is you won't get trapped on the planet, I think. So when you get there, you will, you know, have what you need to get off again, and you won't get locked into it of saying, you won't get soft locked, I think is the term, isn't it? But that is different to you can start on this planet. And I say I'm not sure they're designing it for that. I'm sure mods will make it so that you can do that. I'm sure that will be an option, and it probably won't take too much work. But they're assuming you're turning up, you know, on Gleba with laser turrets and what have you, and that you could turn up with whatever, you know, the other planets give you. I think, you know, that's sort of. It's like a case of the first planet you go to is difficult because you haven't got any of those lovely toys that it gives you, rather than, you know, and second planet, third planet get easier because you can bring those toys with you. But it's not so much that, you know, you need anything to be able to build there, if that makes sense. I'm not sure I entirely explained what I mean there, but I know what I mean. Cool. So I think this is kind of as compact as I'm going to get it. We need to move that. But I also don't know if I have. Well, that's. No, that's fine. Don't know if I've broken anything, basically. Excuse me. Because that needs to be able to grab from that. Yeah, that'll do. We'll call that a mini little military build. Now what we ideally want to add on is the stone brick and that. I do also want to look at because that's the one using sulfuric acid. Is that the only thing? There's batteries if I need them elsewhere. I think I'll leave that side of it. Yeah, we'll just do that as a self-contained thing. Yeah, exactly. You'll not get trapped. Yeah. Just through design. Oh, sorry, I missed that one. It would be possible. Not that you would have the option, since that might be very slow. Laser turrets. To this day, I don't get why everyone is obsessed so much with laser turrets. Personally, stopped using laser turrets once they became 2x2 rather than 1x2. Oh, really? Now that's a blast from the past. So 1x2 laser turret. Yeah, I remember them. They used to have a. They used to be on an arm, didn't it? Like a proper arm. Because the newer ones are, you know, it just sort of raises up like a gun turret. But it used to be an actual. They were blue as well, weren't they? I think it would be like a telescopic arm that would. It was quite a cool animation when they did that. I don't know why they mentioned that there was a feature to select the freshness item and inserter when they also mentioned that all spoiler items are stacked and their freshness is average. Yes, I said that wrong in the video. I said that it sums it, but it actually does an average, doesn't it? I know that also feels like a way of cheating it, especially if you know, if you've got a set of chests, basically, you could put, you know, a whole load of. You could put your freshest stuff in here, and then when something goes below a certain freshness, you know, you just cross-insert it and then move it back and forth or something, and that effectively you could just keep topping up the freshness. That it would never, you know, you might end up with an always average of say 50% freshness or something. But yeah, I'm not sure about them doing that because it's sort of, I don't know. It just seems you're never going to get something. You know, you couldn't do that and make things be 100% freshness all the time, but you could always stave off them becoming properly, you know, turning into whatchamacallit. I guess eventually you would just cascade fail into, you know, them all spoiling. But yeah, so long as it was an item you were constantly using, every time you put a new batch of them into a chest, you would basically top up the freshness. So they would never go, you know, too low. So yeah, it feels like there are going to be some cheats and workarounds with it. I think I'm going to leave them. Let's think more about, say, belts and that. Because this is all iron, isn't it? Don't they use that? They use copper. Then they use circuits. These ones do, don't they? Only those ones, though. Okay. Okay. So let's maybe think about what a miniature Factorio. Just copy these down. Let's just grab those. I forgot to switch those into blue ones, didn't I? Biddly bob. So, if this was making, because we need, I'm thinking, oops, that's the original one. Because one of these needs engines as well, doesn't it? Yeah. Because this then was the engine. I wonder if I could sort of squeeze that in. Somehow. Would that work? Maybe just like that. I'll do my usual thing. Is that right? Does that use? Yeah, that uses bell. And then if that was there. Just gonna need access to that. That needs gears, doesn't it? So perhaps instead, oops. In terms of that maybe. Direct inserting. So that needs. Oh no, it doesn't need gears. Okay, just iron plane. So. I'll have a good laser turret though, in answer to your question asking me. I like them because it's a non. It's just electricity, which is just free, basically. That's my main thing I like about them, because it's just nice and simple. Stick them down. You don't need to worry about it again, sort of thing. Engines. So that needs iron as well. That needs iron. Everything needs an iron. Okay. That. It's a bit tidier. Oh. Missed. buying for these. I assume the average is based on stack size, so I don't think it can be gamed that way. It's apparently a weighted average, but you can game it if you put enough in. You will constantly, it will drag the average up. But I haven't considered it much. Yeah, you could, but I don't think it will help. Assuming that freshness is 100 points on one item. If you have 10 items with 100%, that's 1,000 points. I'm not sure if that works quite that way, but if you top it up, other items, what do you get? Not much. It doesn't matter if there's 50 with 1,000 points or 10 items with 1,000 points. You still get the same amount in science, but you have to just move more items. Yeah, maybe. Turn mechanics are a bit stressful and annoying overall. However, this is a bit different from the usual ones I dislike, so I'm mostly happy about it. Okay. Oh, and I'm not, as I say, I'm not, massively against it. My reaction wasn't, oh, I absolutely hate this, like we did with the quality thing. My reaction was more, okay, but what's that giving us then? What's the benefit to that? Having that in the game. What's our reason for actually using that? Why would I go to Gleba, basically? Doesn't quite reach, does it? Put it there. Annoying. Annoying. Yeah, and I say, we have a lot of time to find out, what's good about it, basically. So, I'm not worried. I was just left a bit sort of, okay, I need to know more, basically, before I decide whether it's something I like or not. I guess the point, in a sense, for me is along the lines of, well, if this is the planet that has got a mechanic that I don't really like, that isn't fun, or I don't find it fun, and it's not giving me anything super special, then it's always third on the list, and I'll go there when I've got everything else sorted out, and I know I've got my super duper machines. I can use foundries on it because I've got foundries. I can use EMPs, and all I then got to do is make the green science packs. And as you say, I'm then maybe at a stage where I've got bots and I've got this and I've got that, and I can just relocate my factory there, and I build on Gleba. But I'm at a stage where that's not annoying. I'm not going to have to completely rebuild yet again. So, let's say, that's my biggest concern, I think. I think that's right. No. Because you need iron plate, you don't need them. You need motors, which that needs gears. And you need the motors, iron plate, and the belt. Getting a direct feed of the belts. Cool, you're all happy. Excellent. Right then, so, the inserter side of things. Now, do I actually build that on top? Because most of that is... I'm thinking... What am I thinking? Am I thinking? Because I could do that. I could maybe run a second iron line up here, because I'm always going to want inserters. Why am I even bothering about the robobot at this stage? And then, what are you doing? Because you need them as well, and you need copper now. So maybe it's the other way around. Maybe this is the top. Do it over here. Oh, crikey. You've gone off on one, Asky Raven. In my opinion, in this case, the approach would be just FIFO, first in, first out. Just let the machine sort it and let them ramp up the productivity. Just let the item spoil with a detection on the end that will get spoiled through. So first minute machine might use bad items if they were topped, but after that they will use fresh ingredients, assuming you don't put up any buffers. Especially don't do it unless I play mod that directly requires them. Oh, same end amount, sorry. I think I even wrote this into comment under your videos. Yeah, I saw the comment I scribbled. It's quite a long one, I think, wasn't it? I've not actually had time to respond to those yet. Only video. But I'm kind of torn on this. It's interesting mechanic in theory. I think the only thing is if it made correctly, so it's not annoying with some cheaty failsafes. It might help, like items not spoiling once they arrive into machines. Oh, unfortunately, I had to ruin Baker Magician's kind of hopes on that earlier on. They do spoil in machines. We're going to have to put on, I can't remember what Baker Magician called them, but exfiltrators, or extractors, or whatever you call them. But basically, we're going to have to take out spoiled items from machines and like reprocess them around. Apparently, they now have there's almost like a buffer. In fact, we saw it before, and this is one of the things I'm wondering whether there's any value going back and reading a lot of the old Friday facts, because one of the things I'm thinking is that, and this is why I might enjoy it, despite it's an annoying mechanic, is that I'm thinking that a lot of the things we got that were quality of life for like circuit networks and things like that, the reason they put them in was because Gleba requires, pretty much, you can do it without it, but having smart networks that say, don't pick the fruit yet because I haven't even got rid of the science packs that we've just made, sort of thing, and that interplanetary signals and all this sort of stuff, because we now got radars that communicate, signals, and I think they've been putting a lot of those in because they're like going to be required for the new planets. They're not really, they're quality of life, but quality of life because the things that we have to do on the other planets require them, essentially. So I say that's what one of the things I'm wondering, as I say, is that perhaps they're not quality of life for base Factorio, they're quality of life for these other planets. For example, I don't know if you remember, and apologies to Monkey on Strike if you're still listening, but there was a thing about, you remember train interrupts? There was a thing that had like interrupt of interrupt or something like that, and we're all I was a bit stumped as to what that could be. I thought maybe your trains might get blown up. Well, if all of the things on the train suddenly spoil or go past a limit that you've set for spoilage, are you not going to want that train to divert to your spoilage dump, basically? So that could be the type of example of a feature that they put in that appears to be a quality of life thing, but is quality of life for another planet, not for normal operation of a normal factory. Plus, I'm a bit curious what kind of impact this mechanic might have on performance, since keep checking potentially thousands of items with spy mechanic might be hard, but I know not a promo, so yeah. I mean, they said on Reddit that it doesn't have an impact. We will have to see. I'm not entirely sure I believe them, if I'm honest, but I guess we'll have to see. Well, I assume that if they spoil their machine, then they will get extracted like output product. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, they get extracted like that. That's not what I meant. But if you think every bioreactor, every lab, everything that uses something that can spoil, will now have to have an inserter to take those away. So if I'm building, a bot build, yeah, and I'm doing these things, and it uses a thing that spoils, well, now I've got to have something in here that, you know, that's the wrong chest, isn't it? The active provider that kicks out the spoilage, basically. So, you know, it just makes everything slightly more complicated, but not in a difficult way, in a, okay, well, I've got to do this now as well, sort of thing, type way. Okay, so if this was another iron coming in here, I'm glad I at least managed to build something. I just assumed we would be ranting on about spoilage the entire stream. So, if that also needs, that makes burn inserters. So it's just that one that does burn inserters? Yeah, because they're both the yellow. That one uses iron, and that one uses iron. Feels like I can get this to... So maybe these need to be... Whoops. Like the bottommost one here, because it uses green circuits. This needs to be in such a place. Let's just do it there for the moment, where both of these can access. Because I think if I do the builds with blue and red, I don't have to, you know, stick these in a chest as well. But that does need iron plate as well. But these don't need iron plate at all, do they? Oh, you need sticks. Do you need sticks? You don't need sticks. So, sticky sticks. If this was... No, that wouldn't be sticks. That would be... Inserters for burning, which need an engine. And those need the other engine. Diddly diddly dee. Diddly diddly dee. So maybe that's like that. So I could maybe... Did you need an engine? You don't need an engine. You do need iron plate, but you don't need iron plate. Okay. So if it's some sort of arrangement, maybe possibly like this-ish. I'm doing it with blooming green machines again, aren't I? So it does need iron plate, and so does that. You don't. I keep forgetting that. And you don't. You do need sticks. Pick up sticks. Okay. So I've got to think. This is like on the bottom here. You know, if that's there somehow, then that's getting iron plate. Iron plate and thing, so that'll give you those. You would get those there. Because then that needs green circuit, you see. Where could I put green circuits? That would not be inconvenient. Oops, sorry. Guess I can move that one down. Oops. That sticks. It also sticks. Maybe I could do something like that, couldn't I? I could do all sorts of things. I think they said these would get handled as unused resources when the recipe changes. Okay. Exactly what I was thinking. I think assembly should have a mini inventory. So a spied item would just get kicked into that, extracted the machine just like any other product of the machine. It's just that you have to account for that. So even so the items that you're producing, it's not spoilable anymore, e.g. plastics, you'll have to account for possible spied items on the belt. I think you're exactly right, Escraven. They added some kind of inventory for that they mentioned in the front effects about assemblers. Controlled by circuits to change recipe. I've stopped by, but I think I need to go to sleep now, even though it's 6 PM in here. I was up till 5, 6 AM, crikey, last night, slept for 2 to 4 hours, so I'm just going to compensate my tiny little bad brain for a lack of sleep. So, bye-bye. Thanks for stopping by, Escaraven. I'll have a look at your comment properly and go back to you on that as well. But yeah, always good to see you, and hope you get a good night's sleep, or a good afternoon sleep. Cool. So, the missing bits are the blue engines and the enginey engines. Right. So that might be interesting. I guess I could punt this down a bit still, couldn't I? Because that could go there. That could go... Oops. Let's not do it like that. Let's do it like that. So did you say you were unsure as well, Senna, about mechanics? I can't remember whether you said you were... Because I know other people that pop by you have possibly the most positive outlook on everything. So if even you are a little unsure... I'm trying to scroll back and see... Still unsure, yeah. Or a plus or a minus. So yeah, I think if they still got to convince you, then I think they've got a little bit of work to do. So I'm kind of hoping that the next Friday Facts is, this is why Gleba is the most amazing planet to go to, sort of thing. Because at the moment we've found out that it's horribly stinky and squelchy. It sounds like everything wants to attack you or hurt you, and also anything you make there is going to go off, basically. So, what's the upside to this place then? What's the good thing? Because they're the blue motors or something like that. Oh, you need gear wheels as well. That's really very inconvenient of you. But what that does mean, probably don't have to be as fussed about that, because I can make this a... Oops. I can have a coppery... circuity... kind of a... doohickey, can't I? Because then we can make... This one just needs... Yeah, just needs copper. It needs them as well. But then you need motors, which also need them. Okay. So do you need... You don't need gear wheels. You just need... gears, don't you? So, gotta think I'm gonna get the undergrounds past. That's gonna be copper cables, wasn't it? So if I move that up a bit, it's too far, isn't it? I've gone too far. Because that does still need iron plate. So we need some kind of line going up here again. No, we don't. It's too far away. Some kind of line going up here. Maybe like that even? Something like that? Because you do need... Oh no, you don't need gear wheels. Why didn't you say? Why did you not say? Okay, but then we can do that and that. Why did you not say? But these, I could actually move these over, but we'll see if that's possible. Because you do need gear wheels and iron and bulbs. So we need plate there. Gear wheels. Then it needs copper cables, just because, you know, it's like that. How are we getting those in? I mean, that could poke out, I guess. Especially if we can move all of this over one. Oh no, I can't, because that needs... Well, good. Ish, but not really. Maybe. Kinda. So if that was... Because it doesn't need iron plate, does it? No, it needs them. It does... Oops. Does that not need... No, it needs copper. Except that I need that to be... copper. So I could move that down. It's not really rearrangeable, is it? So it's kind of got to be iron plate. No, I could do. That would work. So if we move that to there, it'll just be a long way. What's that? What's that? And still has to go there, I think, because that's a circuity, coppery thing. The point of this isn't to make these at rate. This is just literally, well, I need some way of adding more on. And 100 hours after I've gone and colonized the planet. That's when I'm doing that, as it were. So then this needs to be a copper. I'll click the right button in a minute. Green circuits, what's the time? Okay. I really like it, and it wouldn't be a planet if it did not have some unuseful things. See why people think it's like that. Cool. I'll try that. Okay, no, that doesn't work. Right, cool. So what do you think the enemy is then? Because my theory of the sort of, you know, why I wonder if I should. I can. Oh no. Not 6, that would have to be. I'm just wondering about maybe. Yeah, that's fine. Because I want to connect this on the bottom, basically. I was thinking that maybe I could. In fact, why don't I just have it poking out the front? But yeah, my theory about what makes this planet, you know, not an instantaneous, right, well, we'll move to Gleba, is the old biter, Mr. Stompy. So do you think we'll find out about him next? Because they seem to be on a bit of a... They told us lots of quality of life things, which are going to make our lives easy. They seem to be on a bit of a mission at the moment to tell us all the things that are going to make us, miserable. So I don't really need to bother with all that side of things, do I? Didn't this need iron plate? It does. Do you know it got power poles on it? So it didn't, didn't it? And in fact, if that's got iron plate there, we don't need to pull it across, so we can get rid of that bit. To what extent? I can't really move that up, though, can I? Can I? No, not really. I mean, I could swap this round effectively. Oh, I copied it rather than cutting it. So I could flip that. This makes it a little bit tidier, but it doesn't really change the price of fish. In fact, probably going to be easier to power it if it's that way around. Because I can't sort of move that up really. It doesn't feel very compact, is the problem. Oh, that needs to be iron. We need iron coming in there as well. Yeah, not very satisfying that. Guess we could have, I haven't really thought about the robot. Oh, maybe that could be... Yeah, if we squeeze that in. There. Connect them. No, it doesn't have power. One there. And there. Which might as well be there. I guess, I mean, that could be there. And all of this could be swapped over, couldn't it? Because what's bird air? What are we bird airing about? Oh. Poor little... Oh, look, they've finally put in that landfill. It took them ages to do that landfill, and I really don't know why. Apart from laziness, obviously, the bots. Maybe they'll actually defend it. The big problem was these substations. For some reason, they didn't seem to... There were loads and loads of substations sat here, and they were just not building it. Anyway, let's see. Hope for a huge monster on Gleba. Yeah, it could be quite fun, I think, to battle a gigantic beast. I'm not really one for... I don't really like boss fights in games. It's not really... always seems very, very artificial to me. Very, very video gamey, as the expression goes. But I think it might be quite fun to battle something in Factorio, and it becomes more like a logistics challenge again, rather than a... As in, can you get enough stuff on target, as it were? You know, and that's the challenge rather than necessarily how you fight it, as it were. It's more about, you know, can you get enough bullets delivered? Can you build enough nukes or whatever it takes to kill it? It's one damnable inserter then. Gosh darned inserter. Let's do that. It's a bit tinier. I've not got a box for them, have I? Oh. Okay. Okay, so this is going to be... So almost everything here is going to be a single stack, because it's literally just build me some, you know, while you're doing the thing, and so that I can remotely build a bunch of other stuff. But I don't really need them to make it at any kind of speed. Cool, I think that's good enough. Cool, okay, that'll do. I'm torn about if they will reveal any amazing product effects or not. People tend to say they don't expect it for some reason. Yeah, it's the type of thing. I think the problem with holding back on, you know, we've said this before. If I hold back on what the technology tree is, now there are, you know, they've done things like you have to do a thing before you can unlock a thing, you know. So you could make it so that you can't see any of the tech tree past, you know. So if I hadn't unlocked, what's the science pack I haven't unlocked? Whatever that blue one is, this one here. So I've not unlocked that science pack. So you could simply do it that everything that requires this science pack is just hidden. And it's only once you've researched that science pack and you've got it, suddenly you've got, oh, there's all this stuff in here. The problem with doing a mechanic like that, you know, setting it up like that, is that, well, what if, you know, I don't know which of the science packs then to unlock because I can't see where I'm going. And ultimately, I don't know what the
year.
Oops. I don't know what the point of unlocking that science pack is. Is it is it the key crucial science pack that you've got to unlock to finish the game? Or is it just some peripheral science pack that gives me some extra things? So that's the type of problem you create by locking things behind science packs, and particularly where you've got dependent science packs. So if I didn't know there were 4 levels of Deep Space Science Pack, or, you know, I don't know how to win the game. I don't know how to get to whatever the heck an Arco Link storage is. What is that? How do I get there? I don't know what this chain is. Unless you let me see the entire tech tree. And that therefore means there's kind of no point hiding anything that's in the tech tree. Because as soon as someone buys the game, downloads the DLC, presses T, they can see the entire tech tree. Now, they might not understand what's going on. They might not know what some of it means. But they can see the entire tech tree. So they can just say, oh, well, you know, there's something called vitalic epoxy. Great. And they can just post a screen capture of the entire tech tree. And so anyone that's trying not to see it or what have you will get it spoiled. So there's no point them hiding, as in deliberately obscuring or not talking about things. They're going to want to leave it so that people can discover it, you know, but, you know, spoilage mechanic, you know, these are more interesting things to talk about than just you're going to get carbon fibre. You can drop, like they did, you're going to get carbon fibre. Concrete, okay. Just into, you know, into the thing like they did, you know, the, whatever it's called. You know, the text, basically. So yeah, something like a biter, or how biters work, is a really good thing to hold back, because then it's a surprise when it happens, you know. I can't look, I mean, other than, you know, if I look at the tech tree, there's nothing in the tech tree, I'm pressing completely the wrong button, that tells me behemoth biters are going to appear. And when you're actually, you know, there's still one left, look, one little lonely worm. When they're evolving, it doesn't actually tell you the chances of getting behemoth biters until behemoth biters are an option. So they're just like a completely hidden thing. And that's the type of thing I think you can very successfully hide. So if you don't say anything about biters, people are going to find out about it much more organically. But equally, you know, somebody's going to play it through continuously until, on live stream and stuff. So the information's going to get out there pretty quickly. So if we make, what we're going to make, let's make the power poles then. So there, that one, which requires cables and sticks. And then that makes those ones, which also need sticks and cables. Okay. Stickies and cables. Also needs steel, that's fine. But the large power needs cables and sticks, but also concrete and steel. Did you needed steel, you don't need concrete. That's not very convenient of you. So maybe I just do that, but then how does that get steel? Don't suppose there's anything. Because these don't need sticks, do they? I know these need sticks. Sticks are exactly the type of thing that mods seem to be quite obsessed with adding into ingredients. Machines. Without any particularly good reason. I don't know why they haven't got rid of them in the game. They said before about like they're getting rid of RCUs because they have basically one use. You know, I mean it's two, I think actually. But you know, they've made a very simple change to the recipes, and then you don't need them. Well, sticks are the same thing. They're just so basically pointless. You use a lot of them in rail, obviously, but you know, you could just put an iron plate in it, and it saves the same achievement. For enemies, I mostly want cool weapon sounds and animation, like the artillery. Yeah. I hope we do get some really fun toys. You know, we've obviously seen the rocket turret, but I hope we get some properly new. You know, that's just giving us a way to automate. You know, or like a halfway to a Spidertron and a way to automate the delivery of rockets. You know, at the very least, give us a cannon turret as well, and a shotgun turret, and then we can automate delivery of all of these cool toys. I think I said before, I'd love like a capsule launcher that could throw grenades and capsules, and like a bot launcher, you know, that you could automatically deploy the various capsules and you know, attack drones and stuff like that. That'd all be really cool. So, we don't have recipes that particularly use sticks. What we do have is a spare sticks here, in quotes, because it's not really spare as such. But what we could do is use that. He says, not really being sure, because what's that? That's... None of these just use iron plates straight off though, you see. So I've got a spare one there. And that uses copper. I'm wondering I could do a surround it thing, like that. And then this could have iron sticks there. And then that could use iron sticks from that other one. Like that. I have to flip that over. Flip that over. And then those both need steel, so that might be interesting. If we could get both of them sharing sticks. Interesting proposition. And then I can just deliver steel and concrete. Need copper for that, don't I? How are we getting copper there? And then this could move down. Oops. So we have copper. It's got lots of lovely iron plate there. So if they both steel sticks, we have Cooper coming up the middle. Oops, everybody there. That needs to go into there. It also needs... Oh no, you don't need that, do you? You need the output of it. So you need that. So that means that could move up one. I guess that could be a concrete and Cooper. The famous detective duo, Concrete and Cooper. And then it can just sort of grab that from there. So it's getting its sticks from this one. I could longhand that over. So it's then got sticks, it's got concrete rather, not stone, steel. So these both need steel, don't they? It's an absolute steal. Okay, and then that's getting quite messy, isn't it? Move it over one. That. Pop your box in now. Like so. Lights. That just needs to be steel now. Steel. There we go. Does that work? Does that absolute madness of spaghettification work? Doesn't it? Doesn't. Oops. Oh, hello, massive. House plate. How are you doing? Good afternoon to you too as well. That's resume. Yeah, good. Awesome. I hope you're having a good day. I think we're streaming for another 15 minutes or so. So, just to give you a heads up. I think my timing's terrible on when I do my streams because I do tend to get a lot of people sort of popping in literally 5 minutes before I'm stopping, sort of thing. So. I think that's all hooked up properly. So, cable, it's got and then it's got them things because of that, which is that, and then steel's coming up there. This is concrete on there. Yeah, that'll do. I think I would translate it to massive wood panel, but my English is very rusty. Oh, right, okay. What language is it from then? I was fascinated by the usernames people choose. It's got a very, very strange story, Trismegistus. This is obviously the well, I never really worked it out. It's like the Greek a god basically. It's like it means. Well, it's not actually spelt that way. It's got an E rather than a U, but it's three magics, Trismegistus. But I think it's actually meant to be like Hermes or something. So I never really got my head around a lot of the Greek gods. It's all a bit confusing, but that's not where I got it from at all. It's nothing to do with that. Okay. So I'm wondering, because these are like steel and circuity things, aren't they? So not really convenient. But I'm wondering if I've got iron and copper. I wonder if both of these could maybe fit in this sort of gap area here. Oh, German, okay, but I consider myself as a Hesse part of this country. Oh, yeah, that rings a bell, actually. So, we've got iron at the top. And then I could maybe monkey some copper around. Possibly. I'm actually wondering. We do a bit of connecting and like rejigomerizing here. Can we run this copper up? It's also then got green circuits, which it doesn't use green circuits in this, does it? Okay, never mind. That bit doesn't matter. But why would that matter then? Because we've got copper there. Could I? A bit of a pain to rework that. No, it wouldn't. Piece of paper. I lied. Except power bomb. Oh, don't be so annoying. So that would give me the copper, and of course there's iron right there, so that's probably better done on that side. Like that. It's real waste, that really, isn't it? But Yeah. Don't like that bit a bit. Don't like that bit at all. Stone, okay. Mm. Stone. Stone, you say? Stone. Why would a repair pack have stone in it? These modders, eh? Just can't with any old rubbish. So now look at your game and maybe I see something I could do better at my base by copying you. Okay. So I wouldn't necessarily go by what I do. Tend to be very much... well, I've been trying to do it deliberately because I quite enjoy spaghetti bases, you know, where it's all higgledy belts all over the place. I just quite enjoy that style of base when you look at it, but it's difficult to force yourself to do it. I'm quite by default, I'm like a bit of a boring, you know, bus builder basically. But yeah, are you? I mean, are you new to the game, or are you sort of a bit more experienced, or? How about we just move that one over? So, I have given it copper, and it would have access to iron, but who cares in a sense because I have to root stone in there. Why did I do that? That was silly. Need to be using the blues on this. Okay, I guess we'll stick it in anyway, might as well. But I think. I was just thinking I could do some stone brick, couldn't I? That could be like the cheat, silly, pointless reason for, you know, if I run a stone line up here, basically, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I could just stick a little bit in one furnace, and then we've got somewhere that's making a bit of the old stone brick that I could put in a chest, and if I wanted to do something with it, then it's right there. Yeah. Does that make sense to do it in that way? Trying to avoid the... Actually, if I did put it there... Have a furnace there. So if this then is brick of stone, stoning brick. And you can grab a little bit of that, stick in a little box there for me. I think might double stack that one. And then set the filter. And we want pair packs. So it's then got iron stolen from there. I mean, I guess I could double stack that one. That's the copper coming up. Nice. That's making stone brick. Cool. Can I put some pipes at the top here? Maybe. Does this in this use? It does use iron plate. Okay. Oh, hello, Sausage. How are you doing? Oh, raid coming in. Sorry about that. I'm afraid I'm literally only here for another 10 minutes. But how are you doing? It didn't play me a notification then again. I don't get why. I test it every time, and it doesn't play the notification for some reason. So it looks like you've already gone, Sausage. But welcome, Raiders, if there are anyone who's joining. Hope you're doing 11. Hope you've been having a good time with Sausage. I know he was streaming Factorio, wasn't it? So when he was starting, but I hope things are going okay. And apologies for however long that was ago. So what was that? Massive. Press F5. A pattern is shown. Last game I tried building everything. Don't do both. You mean the? I think that's the grid basically. Yes. Apologies. I did not see that. So I've missed that. But I am actually going to end in 5 minutes or so anyway. So there's not too much more left of this stream. I will be back tomorrow though. At exactly the same time, 3 p.m. BST. So that needs one of them, doesn't it? I guess I could move it down one. Oops, what happened there? And double that up. And you can take both of those as well. But no one said it had to be power efficient. Do that. Then we can have box of them, box of them. In fact, if I do that, pop a light in the end. Cool. So this is the regular pips, and this is the underground pips. There. Okay, so that's them. And them, I did put a filter on. Cool. Right. Which was those two. Oh, I didn't do lights. But then they're glass, aren't they? I wonder if I could fit them in somewhere. So, weirdly... I mean, I say weirdly, it makes entirely perfect sense that a lamp which shows a piece of glass on it would have glasses in its recipe. Copper wire, glass, and iron plate. Copper wire, glass, and iron plate. There is glass... Oh no, glass is coming into the military one. Okay. But isn't glass crushed stone? I wonder if I could do the next part of the build. Does anything else use glass? I think it does, doesn't it? Yeah, that's got glass on it. Wait, was I not going to make... I thought... I thought I put... oil refineries and... fuel ones on. But yeah, there's quite a few things using glass, so probably best if that's a bus one. So copper and iron plate. Is there something I can do with that? Oh, it's copper cable, isn't it? Yeah, copper cable, glass and iron plate. I'm just thinking maybe we could steal them here. So if this was lights. I love doing these sorts of bits. This is my fun place. I suppose I can move that down, can I? Can. Do that. Oh. Then I can swap those over. Maybe put the lights there. Try to put a light near a box so that you can home in on where the box is quite easily. Diddly-diddly-diddly-diddly. So it needs glass. What I could do is can you go down one? Yes, you can. And then this can be glass. Very random single ingredient. Well, there you go. Glass. Keeps it all nice and tidy. Chop that off. Cool. How are we doing? 6 o'clock. Let's take lights out of this. I wonder if we could maybe get... Because we do have concrete in a couple of places now. That's red circuits. I've not done any red circuits. Okay. So... concrete is there. And it's just the one thing with concrete, isn't it? And that is using... move that to there. Alternatively. Something like that, maybe? Oops. Because this is... oh no, steel's there. I thought this was steel. Of course that's not steel. But it is concrete, which would give more of a use for sticking that on a belt full stop. So if this is the warehouses... and I would need steel. But we also need steel for all the rest of these gubbins here. So we need... kind of all of these to build. So we'll just do this one. So trying to get it all like compact and squished in. So it's a nice simple... I need to sort this as well. What I need to do with the whole walls thing is like test the expansion thing. Because I think... the idea is that basically... where's the military stuff there? FX at some point. Oops. So the idea is this can be plopped on top effectively, so that can just be used to kind of extend it upwards. And my concept is that you see you've got the Roboport construction sort of distance. Goes up to there, and then we've got, which is about there-ish, and then we've got, oops, kind of coverage all the way up to there with artillery. So we can stick in a couple of Roboports worth of... where is it? A couple of Roboports worth of these. Yeah. I'll just pop it on. Probably another one, actually. Like that. No. Because then it's another stick another corner on, you see. And they can build all of this on. And is that in Roboport range? It's not in construction range, but it would self-build, is the idea. You know, you'd add more and more of those, and there'd be enough stuff, basically. And the bots aren't... although the bots, it's a network that's like a C shape, they'll just fly straight across. So even though, you know, this is a weird network shape, this is quite a short distance for them to fly. So they'll just fly up and put the stuff on. And then once there's enough of a bit, as it were, that extends there, because it's all covered by artillery, you see. Probably actually put it further up. Maybe another one. And it's effectively, all of this is guaranteed to be built by to free. And as I just put this in, because I won't add the artillery until it's all there, then it should be... I mean, obviously we'll get maybe a random colonization thing or something like that. But basically, as they come in, they get sort of, wiped out by any stuff that's there. And then once the whole extension is done, and the extension gets tricky because of water, but once the extension is done, I can effectively then just, I can put the new artillery things in. That'll trigger a load of attacks, fine. But I can also then delete what's all here. And the concept of it is instead of city blocks as such, you end up with, because these are meant to be the far reaches of the base. The system was designed for mega basing, really. But the idea is you end up with a ladder. So it's not really city blocks as such, but it's like a ladder of grid, of rail tracks. There would be more square type shapes in the corners. But then the builds I was doing, and it all got scuppered because obviously Space Age came in and kind of defeated all the plans. Where the heck is... There it is. So the idea was that... Have I even got them in here, or did I delete them? I think I deleted them. No, not game points. Doody-doody-doody-doo. Where are the mega base ones? I think they're in here. I can't see them. I've not lost them, have I? Spider-Man, Battle Base, Kickstarter, Simple Rail. Anyway, there's a set of blueprints where it's like train-based building, basically. So it moves from being kind of belt-based to little modules of train-based things. And the idea is that I would just stamp those down. So if I wanted another green circuits one, I would stamp it down, and there would just be a nice row of builds. And it's effectively sort of a, if you just connected some of the dots, some of the lines, you would end up with something that was basically city block. Bioscience, simple learning rail. Huh. Where is that then? Oh, there we go. Blueprints, Mega Base. There we go. So, these ones. So the idea, and it's how much you would need to extend it by, basically. The idea, you see, these could fit in between. So you got the rail line there and a rail line there. So obviously you need a T-junction. So it does actually need to be one further up by those things. But the idea is you could just plop as many of these in as you wanted, and they would give you a certain number of belts of output. So I'm going to get rid of that. And all get sort of annoyed with me. And actually, it needs to stay really, doesn't it? Yeah. So that's the thing I need to test, because I've ended up with this spur out here, and that would be perfect. In fact, actually, if that was one further up, it would be perfectly overlapped. But I don't know how well it works, you see. I've never tested it. And the utility for this expansion is that it's all remote, and you just plop down the blueprints, it does the thing, you don't need to go anywhere near it. When you deconstruct it, you make sure that it's effectively recycling everything you've already built. So that was the concept. I'll have to see if I can, if it actually works properly. So, yeah, 5x6. So, I think that's it for today. So, I'll pop the old schedule up. I will be back tomorrow. And I don't think there's any problems now until basically October, when Space Age is meant to come out. I think holiday-wise, that's it, really. I mean, what I'm trying to do is save up as much holiday for when Space Age is ready to go. And we can just... I'll probably end up streaming that, but also playing it in my, in my holiday, basically, because I got quite a lot saved up from work. So, I can't think of anything that's coming up in the near future. In the meantime, so what we'll be playing is basically this. So SpaceX, which I'm playing in, in my spare time as well. So yeah, well, progress will move in fits and starts. What I'm trying to do is build like a mini factory that I can plop down on any planet I can go to, and then we can properly start exploiting all these planets, because I'm kind of not very far into it where I should be further. So yeah, hopefully we'll make some proper progress on doing proper planets and making all of the stuff. I have a very tiny build in space, which is not much bigger than the starting thing. So we needed to make some proper progress, because before we know it, space age will be here. Yes, so the other thing I usually promote, if you are new, if you hang around as one of the raiders, I'm afraid, apologies again for missing that. You will see here listed my YouTube channel. Every Friday I do a Friday Facts read through, but also I do a lot of speculation, which is kind of what I kind of add to it, and just come up with like all sorts of ideas and thoughts and comments about the expansion and all the Friday Facts that they put out, give my feelings, ask questions about it, etc. etc. They're a huge amount of fun to do. People do seem to enjoy them. So if that would be of any interest to you, then as I say, there's a link to the old YouTube channel there, and you can find those. It also has all the VODs for this series and loads of series that I've done. I mean, I've played other building and management games like Tectonic, Dyson Sphere Program, Satisfactory, but predominantly it's YouTube. It's Factorio playthroughs, including things like a no spoon run. When I tried to do a mega base, what else is there? My aesthetic series, where I tried to build attractive factories, and the blueprint series, all sorts of stuff there that you might want to check out. So yes, so that's me. I think we will be back tomorrow with exactly the same thing. If you have been watching, I hope you've enjoyed it and you might consider coming back for another one. I've been Trismegistus. This has been Factorio. Thanks for watching. Cheers.